To trade Jaden Schwartz or to not trade Jaden Schwartz, that was the question heading in to today's episode. And to be honest, the comment section was rather divided when it comes to that decision. Now, obviously, we're not on a playoff pace right now. Things could turn around, although the injury to Jared Anderson-Dolan certainly doesn't help. And that's the question. Is it worth keeping Jaden Schwartz around just in case? Or are we going to be fine and good to go? Of course, the goals for the season, we're basically already good to go. 2 out of 3 of them. The question, of course, is what happens against San Jose and Anaheim. Although, if we lose out, we're not going to lose the highest rated prospect in the world. But the hope is that it's like, okay, the positive in keeping Jaden Schwartz, the hope is that he continues to help boost up Grundstrom and Anderson-Dolan as he's done all season. Although you could argue now the time for that is not necessary. Get rid of him. You have Dylan Genther in the system, and you're not totally wrong. So what I want to do one more time here before we make this decision is take a look at the offers for Schwartz. Now, what I've done, too, is I've gone back and looked at the standings because not every offer that's being, sent to us we're eligible to take. Jaden Schwartz does have that 24-team no-trade clause, which means he can only be sent to one of the top 7 teams in the NHL. Anaheim is not one of them. Florida is not one of them. Philly is not one of them, unfortunately. Nor is San Jose, nor is Vancouver, nor is Winnipeg. I think that just made the answer for us. I don't think we're allowed to trade Jaden Schwartz because we decided that I'm only allowed to use the trade finder to get rid of somebody or the trade block. I'm not allowed to get rid of Jaden Schwartz. Fun fact. It appears as though the question from the last episode may have not even have been worth it because, again, we can't get rid of him. So if you look here, again, Washington, Carolina, New Jersey, New York, Minnesota, Tampa, and Colorado are the top teams. If you look via point percentage, there's a slight difference in the order, but it's still the same top 7 teams. So, yeah, we're stuck with Jaden Schwartz. Unfortunately, maybe had we looked to trade him a little bit sooner, we would have been fine. So that answers our question. Jaden Schwartz will be staying. Whether or not we end up trying to re-sign him, I don't know. It could be done, maybe even should be done, but ultimately I don't know for sure if we're going to bring him back. It depends really on where Dylan Genther is at the time. Now, what I want to do here, I'm going to bump up Blake Lizotte, and let's move Martin Ferk over here, even though he's not a very good fit. Yeah, let's go with that. We'll go with Blake Lizotte. No, we won't. We'll go with Trevor Moore. I was looking at Lizotte's offensive awareness. Kind of want him to do a little bit better, but it's okay. So Trevor Moore will be in the lineup in the meantime. So right now we are free and clear to sim to the end of the season and see how it goes. So Mr. Schwartz stays, and we shall move on. Hopefully the team can stay healthy. And obviously the big thing to pay attention to is going to be the matchups in late March, and the one matchup in early April 1st actually, against Anaheim. So this game against San Jose, the top team in the division, at least as of deadline day, is looking to be the most important of the year. Because again, right now we're 2-4 combined against San Jose and Anaheim on the season, which means, we need to win all 3 matchups. Otherwise, that's a failed goal, and we'll be losing either a 3rd-round pick or a C-level prospect, which, to be honest, I'd probably rather give up the 3rd-round pick. I feel like the 3rd-round pick is a safer bet to give up rather than somebody that we already have, just because of how shaky the 3rd round can be. Now, we're up to 35 wins. This has been a very good bit of simming for us, but this game here might as well be a playoff game. Right now, we are in 3rd place in the division with 11 games left this season. We need a win against San Jose if we're going to complete this goal So let's jump into it and treat it like a playoff game. First period, good start. Mike Amadio scores on Peter Mrazek. Second period, San Jose ties it. Dylan Gambrell, oh God, we started Vevalainen. Not great to know our backup goalie's in. Power play for the Sharks is somehow killed off. This one won't be, will it? It is, somehow. 2 kills, okay. We're looking all right. Under 10 minutes left. Come on, somebody. Kopitar. Turcotte. Overtime loss or shootout loss doesn't help us. We're going to OT. Are we going to be going to a shootout? Is the question. We are. Are we going to win in the shootout? No, we're not. Dylan Gambrell seals our fate. We lose in the shootout. Vevalainen was spectacular, but we could not really solve Peter Mrazek. So with that, we have failed at least 1 goal for the season. In terms of losing in the shootout, it does help us a lot in that, hey, an extra point for the playoffs. You know, it's a good thing. But ultimately, that is a pretty disappointing loss, as we'll be losing, again, either a C-level prospect or a third-round pick. We do beat Chicago. Right now, we are very much in the playoff mix. We're on a great run of form. That's our first regulation loss in a long time as we lose 6-5 to Toronto. Question is, what will happen here over this next week? 4-3 win over Vancouver. 5-4 shootout win over Nashville, and a 9-4 loss to Calgary. So for shits and gigs, this game against San Jose, we lose again. Not great. Not great, but that's okay. We're looking for win number 40 on the year. We do not get it. 2 games left this season. We're on 39 wins. We are currently in a playoff spot, although it's not a guarantee, but it's looking pretty good. 1 win in our last 2 games should do it. The Coyotes would have to win out. I think we're going to make the playoffs this year, guys. We're playing a brutal Anaheim team. Can we get the win? Is the question. We do. The LA Kings have made the playoffs in the 2021-2022 season. I cannot believe it. We get rid of Dustin Brown. We get rid of Carter. We get rid of Quick. And somehow, some way, this team has made the postseason. Not only that, we're going to have home ice advantage in the first round against Edmonton. So this episode is a playoff episode. New Jersey hasn't played their full 82 yet. There we go. Everyone's on 82. The LA Kings have made the playoffs. I can't believe it. That was such a good run of form, though. 41, 29, and 12. Obviously, the overtime and shootout losses helped. And San Jose takes the division title. Again, 3 points clear of Edmonton. Arizona, Vegas, Calgary all miss out. Vancouver, and especially Anaheim, were terrible. In the Central, it's Dallas, Minnesota, Colorado, Chicago, and Nashville. Winnipeg absolutely sucked. In the Atlantic, Ottawa, Florida, and Tampa, the Montreal Canadiens absolutely sucked. And in the Metro, Washington, Carolina, New Jersey, the Rangers, and Pittsburgh make it. The Islanders absolutely sucked. So the Washington Capitals are the top team in the NHL. We finished 14th in the league. Not the lowest point total to actually make the playoffs, though, which is kind of surprising. Maybe even a little bit promising. Our goals for per game weren't way up there, but they were mid-table. Goals against per game, my God. We were up there, though. Unfortunately, at a 3.57, which is pretty rough. Our power play was at 19.7%, which was mid-table. And our penalty kill was not towards the top, but not at the bottom either. So we're an average team, an average playoff team. We're not great, but we're not horrible either. Hence why we made the postseason. So look at the point totals here. Anze Kopitar, 32 goals, 88 points on the year despite being a minus player. Alex Turcotte, 39 goals, 81 points for him, so over a point per game as well. Carl Grundstrom was spectacular, mainly due to his power play time, but on the second line as well, 75 points, in 82 games. Iafallo with 68. Of course, right there, those are our 320 goal scorers, and Schwartz was our fourth, 63 points in a full season. Trevor Moore on 63 points on the third line of power play time, which is crazy. Anderson Dolan, 62 points in 79 games. Blake Lizotte was phenomenal with 49 points. Luff with 41. Wagner, Amadio, very happy with every single player's point total. No room to complain. And in terms of the goal scoring, I mean, that's pretty tough to whine about. Defensively, Drew Doughty, 55 points, 30 for Clague, 26 for Bjornfot, 24 for Walker. Very happy with those point totals as well. And for the goaltending, I mean, Robin Lehner's going to be our starter, but we might have to turn to Vieni Vevalainen because Bednard was meh, Lehner was meh. We'll see what happens. We might have to turn to the Finn, Vieni Vevalainen. He's got that smug smile because he knows he might just, in fact, be our starter. Around the league, Mikko Rantanen crushed it. McKinnon up there as well. McDavid, who, of course, we get to play in round one. Not really looking forward to that, but what are you going to do? Kyle Palmieri was way the hell up there. Okay, then. Had them see you up there for Edmonton. Goal-scoring king was Patrick Kane, but Gusev, McDavid, Kaprizov, Svechnikov, Ovechkin, Eichel, and McKinnon all hit at least 50. For the defensemen, 103 points for John Carlson, 89 for Makar. The goal-scoring king was Makar with 30. And for the goaltenders, the winningest was Pecorine in Carolina. The shutout king, Ilya Samsonov in Washington with 6. Save percentage leader. I think Samsonov likely won the Vezina, unless it somehow, someway gives it to Corey Crawford in New Jersey. The rookie race. It goes to Evan Barrett in Chicago with 68 points in a full season. Anderson Dolan was close. I still think he would have been behind the pace, though, and Barrett with 38 goals. But still, a top 3 finish, you would presume, for one Jarrett Anderson Dolan. So a very good rookie season for him. Of course, being next to Grundstrom and Schwartz helped quite a bit. So again, this is now a playoff episode rather than a draft episode. We know we're taking on Edmonton in the first round. The Ontario Reign were also first in their conference, which is extremely promising. This, of course, is going to be the team that brings us into the playoffs. I mean, the power play set up as I want it. We only have one defenseman on the power play, so it's kind of impressive that, a few of our guys finished with over 20 points on the season. But overall, for that defense, you got a very young defense and inexperienced defense. They're looking a lot better. And like I said, I think Robin Lehner has to be given the opportunity as our starter. Hopefully, he can get the job done. As Rasmus Kupari is showing up as an 83. So, I mean, between Genther, Kupari, Velarde, I don't think we're going to be re-signing Jaden Schwartz. I just don't really think it's going to be necessary. I think we're going to have way too many young players that are going to continue to be pushing for spots in the lineup, especially when you factor in, Moore, Lizotte, Luff, Grundstrom, and Anderson Dolan are already here. You factor in Thomas, Kupari, Velarde. I mean, potentially someone like Fagemo could get closer, but we have probably 4 forwards who are going to be pushing for spots. I love Jaden Schwartz. He's done very well for us thus far, but I don't think he's going to be necessary. But for now, we get to push that concern to the back burner because we're taking on Edmonton in the first round of the playoffs, despite being listed as a rebuilder. Let's take a look at this Oilers lineup. Oh, God, this is going to be a bad time, isn't it? Whew. Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, and Andreas Athanasiou, who clearly went up due to morale. Yikes. Second line of Tyler Benson, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and Kyler Yamamoto. Third line, James Neal, Torsten Nylander, we don't know for sure how good he is, and Zach Kassian. Fourth line of Jujhar Khaira, Riley Sheehan, and Cooper Marody. Oscar Clefbaum and Darnell Nurse on defense. Jeff Petrie and Caleb Jones. Adam Larson and Matt Benning. Jeff Petrie going back to Edmonton. It's a good fit for him. It's a real dangerous team. Koskinen and Rodrigue, the goaltending tandem. Gaetan Haas, Ethan Bear, and Evan Bouchard, the healthy scratches. So we, despite somehow finishing ahead of Edmonton, we are very much the underdogs in this series. There is no doubt about that. They have a massive offensive advantage, a massive defensive advantage, barely a goaltending advantage, though. Oh, I mean, you would expect that we would just get absolutely ran. Like, this is going to be... Oh, boy. This is going to be interesting. That's the way I'm going to put this. This is going to be interesting. Because, again, we were the better team in the regular season, but the playoffs, of course, are an entirely different animal. But at the very least, while it might not be the best for us to have made the postseason, we still did. So, not getting the best draft pick in the world, but we still make the postseason. Kind of similar, I'd say, to like when Toronto made it against Washington. It's like, wow, you're not supposed to be here. Anything could happen. Let's hope we at least just have a good showing against the Oilers and we don't get just destroyed. So game 1, on home ice no less, first period. And okay. All right. Jaden Schwartz v. Leon Draisaitl. 2 power play goals for Schwartz. 2 even strength goals for Draisaitl. Wow, 16 shots to 11. We are tied at 2. What a start to this game. Will we see multiple hat tricks? Second period, good God. All right, Leonard. Turcotte made it 3-2. McDavid tied it. Jones on the power play gives him the lead. Draisaitl completes the hat trick. It's 5-3 in favor of the Oilers as we begin the third period sim. I'm not too optimistic. I think, 5 goals allowed by Leonard. Probably a bit too much. Probably, fun fact, I dropped it down to medium scoring. As was suggested, Draisaitl scores his 4th. Yamamoto makes it 7-3. The power plays have just been devastating. 44 shots to 34 and a 7-3 victory for Edmonton. A 6-point game for Leon Draisaitl. It started off so well. Like, the plus-minus isn't going to be that bad. We have that going for us because of the amount of power play goals. Our top line just couldn't hang. They just simply could not hang with the Oilers' top line. Oh, damn. Well, remember what I said about hope and optimism? Yeah, so much for that, right? So much for that. I think we're probably just going to keep the team the same. Let's be honest. There's not much mixing and matching we can do to try and get some momentum here. If Leonard loses game 2, though, Vienni Vehvilainen could be called upon. So time will tell if that happens. First period of game 2 is scoreless because somehow, some way, of course it was. 16 shots to 6. Second period is not scoreless. Alex Turcotte gets the opening goal of the game. Darnell Nurse is able to tie it, but Anze Kopitar, the captain, makes it happen. 27 shots to 16 in their favor, but we're up 2-1. At the end of 40 minutes of play, we go to the third. Let's see what we're dealing with here, shall we? So we're looking to hold on, looking to make this work. Can we do so? Can Robin Leonard shut the door under 5 minutes left from a playoff victory? Leon Draisaitl, no. It was too good to be true, guys. Too good to be true. 41 shots to 26, tied at 2 thanks to a late goal from Draisaitl. I mean, you can't really blame Robin Leonard. An insurance goal would have been nice. We could not get it. We go to OT. We desperately need a win here or we could be in a whole lot of trouble. Early power play chance goes to waste and Edmonton scores in the aftermath. Jujhar Khaira, 3-2 final. Damn. Damn. Turcotte and Kopitar, decent games, but ultimately not good enough. We fall again on home ice, and that raises the question as far as what do we look to do in Game 3. I think, it's fairly obvious we're outmatched. You can kind of get lucky in the regular season, but in the playoffs, heart and soul is only going to matter so much. And right now, this team has just been very, very quiet. I'm going to leave the team the same. The most I could do is swap Iafallo and Grundstrom just to try and get something going. I think we're just going to stick with it and see what happens. I can't believe I'm saying this, though. Again, Robin Lehner has a no-trade clause. 3 teams. So, thankfully, we can trade him to pretty much wherever we want this upcoming postseason or off-season. We're in the postseason. I think we might be done with him. We're going to give Vieni Vevalainen a chance. I mean, both competed under the same rules. Vevalainen had a good save percentage. Robin Lehner did not. So, could call this tanking. We're going to go with Vevalainen, and perhaps Robin Lehner will be traded at the upcoming draft. Time will tell. First period of Game 3 here in Edmonton, goal apiece. Tobias Bjornfot with his first ever postseason goal. Darnell Nurse, though, is able to tie it. We outshot them, I believe, for the first time, though. So, hey, things are looking up. Second period, we have the lead. Alex Turcotte on the power play. I just want to win a game. Playoffs. I just want to win a game. 28 shots to 13. We're up 2-1 as we go to the third period. Same situation that we have already seen in the series. Power play chance goes to waste. Connor McDavid scores on their abbreviated power play. We're tied at 2. Under 10 minutes remaining here. Let's see what we can do. Can we hold on just to get to overtime, please? Power play. Nothing. So Connor McDavid's tying goal puts us in a bit of trouble. We go to overtime, and we win. Cale Clague, of all people. Cale Clague gets the game-winning goal in overtime, his first ever postseason goal. And the LA Kings, believe it or not, the LA Kings have won a game. We actually managed to beat Edmonton with a 75 overall goaltender in Vieni Vevalainen. I mean, not that Robin Lehner was bad in Game 2, but it made sense to give Vevalainen the chance. I mean, maybe it did. Maybe we should have stuck with Lehner. I mean, again, Game 2, he was pretty good. But we didn't. We gave Vevalainen the chance, and ultimately, that paid off because we got the win. And now we at least know that we have options in goal for the rest of this series. It's a 2-1 lead for the Oilers as we get a much-needed win to avoid complete embarrassments. Chicago's up on San Jose. Of course, we're trailing. Colorado's up on Minnesota. Dallas and Nashville tied at 2 apiece. And then in the East, only one 3-1 lead. That's Pittsburgh over Washington. As far as who starts this next game, I don't think I have an answer. It's kind of a tough situation. We're going to go with the hot hand. If Vevalainen loses Game 4, Lehner's back for Game 5. But until then, we're going to ride the hot hand. Vieni Vevalainen gets the start on the road, Game 4. The home team has yet to win in this series. We've seen that trend play out oh so often. Let's see how this goes. First period, 1 goal apiece. Darnell Nurse on the power play. Jarrett Anderson-Dolan gets it back. Shots were about even. The score is even. Second period, hell offense. Matt Roy and his second of the game, Jarrett Anderson-Dolan. Shots about even. The scoreboard is not home ice, proving to be a curse in this series. We're up 3-1. Power play for Edmonton is killed off. Power play for ourselves, it also goes to waste. That's okay. Power play here for Edmonton again. That doesn't go through. The LA Kings are back in the series. The fact we made the playoffs, the fact we have home ice, and now the fact that we are tied at 2 games apiece with the Oilers, Vienni Vehviläinen and Jared Anderson-Dolan leading the way. Unbelievable stuff. This is meme-tastic. That's the only way to put it. Vienni Vehviläinen proving that he, or at least trying to prove that he should be our starting goaltender. Oh my God, imagine if he pulls this off. The question is, though, is it just a matter of, the home kind of, bias or anti-bias? Look at those friggin' numbers through 2 games. He obviously starts again. Is it just a matter of the home team not winning? What is this series going to be? Game 5 is going to go a long way towards determining that. Let's do it. First period of Game 5. Unfortunately, the Ontario Reign have been bounced. Didn't really pay attention to their series. Obviously, we wanted that team to go as deep into the playoffs as they could for the sake of our prospects. But a lot of them still have NHL futures ahead of them. First period, though, we focus on the task at hand. Game 5, first period. And the home ice advantage is indeed a curse. Andreas Athanasiou, Tyler Benson on the power play, Cooper Marody, and Tyler Benson again. Vehviläinen turns back into a pumpkin and is pulled in favor of Leonard, who allows a goal anyway. Outshot 16-11 and down 4-0 at the end of the first period. Second period, it gets worse. Oh my God. Robin Leonard, no. Oh boy, it still probably made sense to get rid of Jonathan Quick when we did, although, you think I could trade Leonard for Adrian Kempe? Think we can get Kempe back? Draisaitl, Jones, and Neal. Let's just quick sim the third period. We get 2 goals back. Schwartz and Anderson, but Jujhar Khaira scored as well. 8-2 is your final score. The Oilers, man, imagine paying for home playoff tickets if you're a Kings fan. Oh my God, the Oilers devastate us on our own home ice yet again. Jesus. That is nightmare fuel. Vehviläinen, oh my God. And then again, Robin Leonard couldn't do much either, so I don't know who starts this next game. We probably give Vehviläinen another chance. We have to hope that the home losing, streak continues for both teams. Not a single Western series has ended yet, but Pittsburgh and New Jersey have both advanced, winning their series in 5 games. Ontario was swept by the San Jose Barracuda, which is incredibly disappointing. So in terms of this team, it still has to be Vehviläinen. Robin Leonard's time in Los Angeles is probably done. Like I said, we have the option to trade him. And we're probably going to do just that. I mean, we could look to get... I don't think we'd be able to get Kempe back for him. It'd be nice. But we'll explore trading probably Jaden Schwartz's rights at the draft, as well as Leonard's. Although Leonard's still under contract next year. And we'll explore, getting rid of a 3rd-round pick. More than likely. We'll exchange a 3rd and a 7th for a 7th. It won't count as trading down, but that way we just get rid of a 3rd for nothing. So this team, what are we going to do here? I'm just kind of looking at, who's underperformed. That 4th line, wow. Okay. The problem is I can't scratch Wagner or Clifford, but neither have been able to stay out of the box, and that's why we can't kill penalties. So that 4th line grind line is not exactly paying off for us, is it? That's pretty rough. Iafallo, we're just going to do the Grundstrom for Iafallo swap, and again, there's nothing else we can do in terms of changing up the lines. It's just this was the team that we elected to go for. I'm going to see if I can switch out Bjorn Fott for, say, Anderson, just to get a different kind of look on defense. The Any Vevalainen will start. I think Robin Lehner started his last game as a member of the Kings. I accidentally hit advanced day, so we're going to see what happens. We lose 8-2. So anticlimactic, accidentally hit advanced day to end the series. That hasn't happened in a while. We get absolutely torn asunder yet again. And again, collectively, this team turns back into a pumpkin. We lose to the Oilers, rightfully so, in 6 games. They're the better team. We can't really complain. Perhaps there is an argument for keeping Robin Lehner around just because it's like, okay, look at the team in front of him. But then why did Vevalainen, at least for 2 games, do as well as he did? Kopitar put up a good fight. Grundstrom was arguably our best player. Turcotte was fine. We needed more from Jaden Schwartz in terms of points. Same for Alexei Afalo, not a single goal. And then the bottom 6 was just completely irrelevant. The bottom 6 got ripped to shreds. And again, the penalties were a problem. Wagner, Clifford, big issue. Defensively, I mean, it wasn't great. Sean Walker couldn't stay out of the box either. Just has to wonder if it was like the Oilers' speed, if that's the factor for the penalties. I genuinely don't know. And then, yeah. So I don't know. We'll at least see what we can get for Robin Lehner. It's not like we have the heir apparent under, contract right now. It's a tough way for the season to end, but ultimately we can't really be surprised, can we? So with that, this surprise playoff episode comes to an end. Next episode, we go through the offseason. Of course, let me know what you think. Do we look to perhaps re-sign Jaden Schwartz? I don't think that's the best option. I think we just try to get something for his rights. I think as well for Lehner, try to get something for him. The debate, though, with Schwartz is, do I have free reign to trade away his rights, or do I still have to look at one of the top 7 teams in the NHL? Let me know what you think about that. I would argue we should just be free to trade his rights because he can't do it for full value. So really we'd be getting like a 4th for him at best. And then with Lehner, let me know what you think. Do we keep Robin Lehner around? I'm probably going to try to shop Ryan Bednard as well. I think Vevalainen, while he collapsed in the playoffs, you could say he's earned a spot here. Let me know what you think. Just our goaltending in general. I said we don't have the heir apparent. Glebov, though, he's getting close. So we really only have to bide a little bit more time until Glebov's good to go. For expiring contracts, Glebov will be signing his ELC. Anderson's going to have to be signed. We might bring back Bergman. Sean Dursey will be signed. And, of course, Hunwick and Shen will be dropped. We'll probably end up signing Patrick for the hell of it. And then, of course, we have to decide what to do with Schwartz. Kyle Clifford is probably gone. Way too many penalty minutes. Rempal will probably sign. Martin Ferk we might drop. He doesn't really fit in with the team. Shafagulin's going to have to be signed. So we don't really have any major contracts to deal with, which is good. In terms of the amount of money we have $35 million to work with. Actually, Bergman's going to be dropped. We're not going to be allowed to re-sign him. So it's going to be a pretty straightforward offseason. I mean, we're going to have to wait and see what happens in terms of pending free agents and what big moves we could potentially make. And from the looks of it, it at least has the potential to be a very, very interesting free agency period. A very interesting free agency period. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, you know the deal. Support the video, support the channel. Check out everything in the description if you have not already done so. Of course, a shout out to my patrons over on Patreon. I love you guys. There is a new episode, by the way, up on Patreon today for those Tier 3 patrons. I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, have a good one. Take it easy, and goodbye.